Hey everybody, it's Craig with Smartphone ME. Today's face-off is between the Samsung Epic 4G and the HTC EVO Shift 4G, both currently offered by Sprint, both with 4G connectivity and both with full slide-out QWERTYs. Make sure you stop by smartphoneme.com. Check out the winner of today's face-off along with photos and videos taken by both of the contestants. All right, what do you say we kick off our face-off? Both of the handsets offer dual-band CDMA, EVDO, Rev-A, 3G connectivity along with WiMAX 4G connectivity. Epic 4G weighs in at 155 grams. Excuse me. As far as build quality, got a nice high-grade plastic rim, runs around the entire display. Nice chrome accent that runs around the entire perimeter of the slide-out QWERTY. And the back of the phone is a rubberized plastic with a nice texture coat on it. Down here at the bottom is the phone speaker. Up here towards the top is LED flash along with the 5-megapixel camera. Up on top is a 3.5mm headphone jack, micro USB port with its little door. On the right hand side, power and lock key, a dedicated camera key. On the left hand side is the volume rocker. And on the bottom is the phone's microphone. Alright, HTC EVO Shift 4G weighs in at 130 grams, so it's quite a bit lighter. It's got a nice chrome bezel that runs around the entire display. Just to the outside of that is a nice piece of brushed aluminum painted in a very dark blue. Got some nice chrome accents around each of the 4 touch-sensitive keys as well as the earpiece. Little mesh work there as well. Around the perimeter of the slide-out QWERTY is a high-grade plastic. And the battery cover itself, again, is a rubberized plastic with a nice HTC logo embossed on it. Just above that and to the left is the LED flash, 5-megapixel camera, as well as the phone speaker. Up on top, 3.5mm headphone jack, power and lock key. There is nothing on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side is the micro USB port as well as the volume rocker. And on the bottom is the microphone. All right, let's talk about cameras. Epic 4G. They both offer 5-megapixel cameras. They both have autofocus and LED flash. The Epic 4G also offers geotagging, touch focus, face and smile detection. Video capture is 720p at 30 frames per second. So on the EVO Shift 4G, again the autofocus, LED flash, 5 megapixels, but it offers geotagging as well as face detection. That's it. Video capture again is 720p. Both of them have 1500 milliamp batteries. The Epic 4G is rated at 5.5 hours of talk time. The EVO Shift 4G is rated at 6 hours of talk time. Both of them have their micro SD card slots underneath the battery cover. On the Epic 4G, you do not have to remove the battery to replace or exchange the micro SD card. You do on the EVO Shift 4G. All right, let's take a look at the displays. If I can get both of them back to the home screen. There we go. All right, the Epic 4G's got a 4-inch Super AMOLED capacitive touch display. Shows 40 by 800 pixels. Offers accelerometer sensor, proximity sensor, as well as multi-touch. Just below the display are 4 touch-sensitive keys. Can we get them to light up? There we go. Got main menu key, home key, back key, as well as search key. And in the upper right-hand corner, you've got a front-facing VGA camera for video calls. On the HTC EVO Shift 4G, you've got a 3.6-inch TFT capacitive touch display. Again, 40 by 800 pixels. Again, accelerometer sensor, proximity sensor, and multi-touch. It also has 4 touch-sensitive keys below the display. The order in this particular case is home, main menu, back, and search. There is no front-facing camera for video calls. As far as memory is concerned, on the Epic 4G, there's 512 megabytes of RAM, 512 megabytes of ROM. Internal storage can be expanded an additional 32 gigabytes through the use of a micro SD card. EVO Shift 4G, 512 megabytes of RAM, 2 gigabytes of ROM, and again you can expand internal storage an additional 32 gigabytes through the use of a micro SD card. Both of the phones offer Wi-Fi 802.11b GNN. The Epic 4G also has support for DLNA. Both of them have Bluetooth version 2.1 with support for A2DP. Both of them have GPS with support for AGPS. Both of them can be used as Wi-Fi hotspots out of the box. Processor on the Epic 4G is the ARM A8 1 gigahertz processor. On the EVO Shift 4G, it's the latest Qualcomm MSM 7630 800 megahertz processor. Operating system on the Epic 4G is Android 2.1 Eclair with Samsung's TouchWiz UI. And on the EVO Shift 4G, it's got Android 2.2 Froyo with HTC Sense. All right, I've downloaded the Quadrant Standard Benchmark test from the Android market on both of our contestants here. So what do you say we kick this off and get a run and see what we come back with? Back to the CPU, done on the Shift. Just about finished on the Epic. Shift looks like it's about ready. Yep, it's got into graphics, 2D graphics, and here goes the. And we've got both running 3D graphic tests right now. You can see the frame rates in the lower left-hand corner, frames per second. One more test to go. And there's one, and there's the other. And you can see by the bar graph that the EVO Shift was higher on the Epic 4G. I've got 953, just above the Galaxy S, just below the Motorola Droid X. And on the EVO Shift 4G, I'm at the top of the heap above everybody, and it's at 1626. So as far as the winner of our standard quadrant benchmark test, we're going to have to give that to the EVO Shift 4G. All right, so on our YouTube comparison, I've got both of them running off the same Wi-Fi network, and we'll try and kick a couple off here. It's pretty close.
What's happening, guys? Are you ready for it? Are you? I don't think you are. No, you're not ready. Okay, brace yourself for WTF kidding. Now, I'm 90% sure this creepy ass...
That's a pretty cool cat. I'm going to have to get one of those. All right, let's run one more. And we're off. That looked pretty close.
What's happening, guys? Man, this dude here, Scott Kidderbat, having TV. He sent me this video of him. It's only 6 seconds long, but Scott's about to run up into this Abercrombie and tear some shit up.
Guys, this is my favorite collecting scene. Ready?
Now, I know that's kind of dumb, but I laughed my ass off when I saw that. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I...
All right, there's a look at YouTube, and again, the Epic 4G loaded the YouTube videos a little quicker. They're both set to default to HQ playback, and again, they're both running off the same Wi-Fi network. Let's take a little closer look at the slide-out QWERTY on both of the handsets. I'll start out with the Epic 4G. It offers 5 rows, dedicated number row, which is nice. Your function key is going to give you access to a couple shortcuts like .com and @ as well as the other symbols. You have 4 shortcut keys: main menu key, back key, home key, as well as search key. You have 4 directional keys, which work in conjunction with the enter key. As far as the mechanism, it's spring-loaded, so when you open and close it, it definitely feels very solid. On the EVO Shift 4G, again, you're going to get 4 rows. You use your function key to access numbers as well as symbols. As far as shortcut keys, there are only 2. You've got menu as well as search. You do have a slick little light up here in the upper left for both the shift key and functions key to let you know they've been pushed. You have a 4-way nav pad over here in the lower right hand corner that works in conjunction with the enter key. You know, idea what I mean by that? Hit enter and you're there. As far as a mechanism, there isn't one. It simply opens and closes on its own. It doesn't feel as if it locks at all, because it doesn't. So I like the feel of the Epic 4G keypad a little bit better as far as the mechanism itself. As far as the keys are larger and have nicer spacing. I don't know about nicer spacing, but a little nicer feel on the Epic 4G. But I do like the keys quite a bit on the EVO Shift 4G as well, because I just like the fact that the keyboard's a little tighter and the keys are a little closer together. For me, it's a little easier to operate. All right, as far as search functions on both of them, touching either one of the keys will open up the search function. What I think is important from here is going into what you can search. And on the Epic 4G, to access that, you're going to have to go into Settings. And under Search, Searchable Items, and these are the searchable items that are available to be searched on the Epic 4G. These are the searchable items that are there to be searched on the EVO Shift 4G. So the list on the EVO Shift 4G as far as search is much more comprehensive than on the Epic 4G. Both of them offer quick launch under Settings. And it's under Applications, as I recall, on both. So you've got your quick launch for setting up shortcuts, so both of them operate the same way there. I say the real difference is you've got 5 rows versus 4. The keys feel very good on the Epic 4G, but I do like the smaller keyboard on the EVO Shift 4G personally. You get the 4 shortcut keys on the Epic 4G with only 2 on the EVO Shift 4G. So there's a little comparison between the two keypads. Say we run our navigation test on both of our handsets, and I'll try and kick them off at the same time. Navigate to Starbucks. And it looks like the EVO Shift 4G is a little quicker at doing pretty much everything. Not a lot. And as you could hear from there, I think both of them grabbed it at exactly the same time. So no issues with either one. They're both very smooth. As far as scrolling, take a look at layers real quick. We'll give you a satellite view. So you take a look at that. And there you go. Both of them worked very well. Absolutely no issues whatsoever navigating with either handset. All right, what do you say we finish up our face-off between the Epic 4G and EVO Shift 4G with our browser comparison. Again, I've got both of them running off the same Wi-Fi network. I've cleared the cache on both. And in this particular case, I've disabled the enable plugins on both handsets. Again, the EVO Shift 4G offers Adobe 10.1 Flash, which the Epic 4G does not. Reason being, you've got Froyo 2.2 on the EVO Shift 4G and Android 2.1 Eclair on the Epic 4G. So I've disabled that to give them pretty much a level playing field to work off of. So we'll start from there, and we'll start with Smartphone Envy, as always, and we're off. And it looks like the EVO Shift is just a little bit ahead. EVO Shift 4G is done, and the Epic 4G is done. All right. Both of them are very smooth. A little herky-jerky at the beginning. Once you get both of them going, they're both very smooth. Once you zoom in, they're like butter. Pinch to zoom, rewrap the text to fit the display. Pinch to zoom works very well. They format and replicate the site perfectly, which is great. All right, let's head over to Slash Gear real quick. Here we go, Slash Gear, and we're off. Again, it's looks to be the EVO Shift. Epic's coming on strong. Neck and neck. EVO Shift is done, and the Epic is done. There we go, and they're both finished loading. But the EVO Shift 4G was a little bit quicker. Again, pinch to zoom works great, and it rewraps the text to fit the display on both. They're both very smooth. Both work very, very well. I'm glad my dog was able to start barking here. Remind me not to bring her to the office next time I shoot a video. And let's head over to Engadget and give that a shot. And we're off. I look pretty even as well. So right now the EVO Shift 4G is up 2 zip. We'll see if the Epic can come back. And again, don't forget the EVO Shift 4G also offers the Adobe Flash 10.1, so it can show full flash video, which the Epic 4G can. And that was definitely the Epic, so apparently it heard what we were talking about. It was a little upset with the way things were going, so it had a big comeback there. And again, absolutely no problem rendering these sites whatsoever with each one of these handsets. So both of them do a fantastic job of rendering websites. Two of the best browsers I've seen on smartphones. So anyway, there's our comparison between the Epic 4G from Samsung and the HTC EVO Shift 4G. Both of these are currently offered on Sprint at the moment. So head on over if you want to pick one of them up. Make sure you stop by smartphoneenvy.com. Check out the written review, today's winner of our face-off, along with photos and video from both of the contestants. And I hope this has been helpful. Take care.